Everything in this video is alleged and the opinions of just me. Viewer discretion is advised. March of 2020, do you remember? It was scary. The argument to mask or not to mask, that was the question. It was the beginning of a worldwide pandemic. Lockdowns, depending on what state you lived in. Stores closed, schools closed, empty streets, curfews, people crying on the news. News of people dying, loved ones dying. Words like quarantine and essential worker were being used. COVID was here. It still is. For all the introverts, we were fine with it. But those extroverts, they had to get out. People were on social media more than ever. What else could you do? In Charlotte, North Carolina, there was a young woman on Facebook. She was trying to find something to do. She posted on March 22nd, 2020, "What are you doing to stay entertained during quarantine?" A few of her Facebook friends responded anything from watching makeup videos, making TikToks. Someone even said meth, jokingly, hopefully. They had a sense of humor, and by Mary's responses, she had a sense of humor too. I've discovered a lot about Mary. Besides her love for Marilyn Manson, she was born with a cognitive genetic disability, DiGeorge or 22q11.2 deletion syndrome, a disorder caused by a defect in chromosome 22. In some cases, treatment can help, but it can't be cured, and it's long-term. Mary had difficulties with social and practical skills, such as counting money, navigating the way through a neighborhood, and she had a cleft palate, which caused her to have severe speech impediment, and was a little apprehensive about speaking. So, if you weren't someone in her family that she really knew, she may have shied away from talking to you. She had poor eyesight, so she wore prescription glasses, taking them off to pose for those top model pictures. She needed assistance, help from the people that was around her, which was often family. Mary was vulnerable, naive. She had been taken advantage of by her so-called friends. She was too trusting, and her lack of judgment and understanding at times made her a target. In other words, things that were occurring in her mind may have been muddled, so it was kind of hard for her to comprehend. She appeared to function much younger than her years, but she saw the best in people. This and much more, to say the least. Mary was very pretty, very stylish. Her friends and family say very sweet. There was an innocence about Mary. Mary says she's a goth girl. She loved music and makeup, and she enjoyed going to coffee shops and trying different flavors of coffee with her mother, and going wig shopping with her big sister, Riley. Even though she had some everyday challenges that you and I take for granted, she was happy for the most part and just wanted to enjoy life. But she was growing up and felt that it was important to have friends. She wanted friends. She lived with her grandmother, Mia Algerman, who admits that she's a little strict, a little overprotective, but she raised Mary since she was a baby, and she just wanted the best for her. On March 28th, Mary informed her grandmother that she was going to go out and hang with friends. Kelly Lavery, 24, who is one of those so-called friends. Mary's family didn't really care for Kelly. She taunted, teased, and bullied Mary right there on social media underneath her pictures so that everyone could see. She would tell her things like, I hope you disappear. Tell her things like nobody wanted her. She even told her the most horrible thing. Go kill yourself. Kelly had told multiple people that she was going to kill Mary. I don't believe that they even thought that that was true. Because Kelly's jealousy was blown way out of proportion. Then Kelly would say, quote, I am sorry I bullied you, Mary. I was bored. End quote. In Mary's mind, if Kelly behaved nicely, she forgave her, and Kelly knew that she would, and she used that over and over again. She thought that Kelly was her friend, though she never was. Kelly was a mean girl, a jealous girl who bragged on her daddy's money, a man by the name of Patrick P.J. Lavery. I have no idea what he does, who he is, nor do I care. But what I do know is that him and Kelly's mother clearly raised a child who felt that she was entitled. Kelly used his wealth to belittle people. In high school, she wrote, quote, in 10 years, I'll be richer than all of you, end quote. As a grown woman in her early 20s, she boasted that her father paid her rent and bills, and she could do whatever, say whatever to whomever because of her daddy's money. Another friend Mary was going to see was her ex-boyfriend, Levi Pham, 21. He had actually briefly dated Mary in high school. He would actually help in the harassment of Mary. I'm pretty sure Kelly had a hand in that, because now Kelly and Levi were in a relationship. They were actually engaged and living together in an upscale neighborhood, the Yard of Noda. But Kelly was fixated on Mary. There was something about Mary that kept her up at night. Mary stayed in Kelly's mind. For someone that was so fortunate and has everything handed to her on a silver platter, a quote from her, why would you want to demean a girl with so many disabilities and challenges in her life? And this was one of those disabilities in action. It was her thought process. Mary wanted to go despite Mia was trying to do everything to stop it, and the Uber was on its way sent from the couple. Mia tried to stop the Uber driver from taking her granddaughter away, but Mary was an adult, and there wasn't anything that Mia could do. Mia watched as her granddaughter got inside, and the Uber at 2:30 p.m. that afternoon had driven away. It was posted on Levi's social media how much fun the three were having after going out to get sushi with Mary. Family believes they made this video to show that Mary was safe. I think this video was more like a souvenir for what was about to happen later. Hours went by. Mia tried calling Mary's cell phone, no answer. She was so worried when her granddaughter hadn't returned that night. There was a tracking device on Mary's phone, which appeared inactive. Since she arrived to the apartment, it was inactive. Mia thought maybe the phone was dead because the charger was left behind. What the mind will do to calm you, but Mia still wasn't calm. There was no trust in Kelly. Mia knew that Kelly's intentions were bad. Mary had never done anything like this. Mia would find out Mary's phone was intentionally broken upon her arrival. Had she left like the couple had told her, her phone would have tracked and shown where Mary was. Mia and her daughter, Casey Del Pizzo, that's Mary's mother, went to that Noda apartment on Rollington Drive together looking for Mary. The couple answered the door. "Mary isn't here. She already left," that's what they said. Mia and Casey wanted to see for themselves, so Kelly allowed them inside the home, but not in the bedroom. However, Levy, knows to be agitated, he would let Casey inside the bedroom. The room smelled of Cascade detergent and pumpkin spice shower gel, like someone had done some cleaning. The thought that Mary left on her own, she wasn't able. She didn't know where she was, and she would have needed help. Kelly and Leva acted like they were trying to help find Mary, calling Mary's family and texting, acting like they were so concerned about Mary's welfare. "Have you heard anything yet?" A very concerned Kelly. On March 30th, Mia would file a missing persons report with the police. It's believed that the police was told by this couple that Mary had a habit of going off and staying away from home, which couldn't have been further from the truth. Mary's family felt that the police was just not taking this serious because Mary was not missing. Mia insisted to the police that her granddaughter had went to visit this couple and they knew where she was. Meanwhile, Mary had been missing for several days now. It seemed the world was going insane. Boats with COVID-infected people sailing around the seas because no one would let them stop to aid and help them. People being shot and killed for asking to wear a germ mask. Doctors and nurses quitting at the extreme overload of sick patients. Even a nurse, death by suicide, because watching these people die before her eyes was too unbearable. Funeral homes overflowing and turning down the deceased. To vaccinate or not to vaccinate? That was the question. It felt like hell. It felt like the world was ending. A family in North Carolina searching for their loved one with special needs, that felt like hell. That felt like their world was coming to an end. The police had got a call from a witness saying that Mary was in that Noda apartment. Kelly and Lavi had stuffed her inside a mattress. The police arrived to the apartment without a search warrant. Lavi had actually invited them inside. It didn't look like anything was out of order. The couple was helpful. The detective even lifted the mattress in the master bedroom. Nothing to see here. The police left. Meanwhile, James Serrano, 19, he was bragging and telling friends that he was at a party and he was involved in a murder, and that the victim had been stuffed inside a mattress, and other gory details about what had happened to Mary. A second witness contacted the police and told them that the couple was planning on burning that mattress. Police went back a second time, this time with a search warrant on April 4th. Kelly was reportedly passed out in a deep sleep, more than likely on that mattress, because the police had to wake her up. The witness who had called, they were right. Mary was still in that apartment. She had never left. Court records stated Kelly and Lavi text back and forth, probably right in front of Mary, that they planned to kill her. Mary had been given a drink that was laced with Xanax, and she was tortured, beaten, and placed inside the bathtub with a dog collar wrapped around her neck. Mary refused to engage in a threesome with this sick, deranged couple. She had been stabbed 133 times a report from the autopsy. She was also forced to watch this couple engage in sexual activity as she lay dying. She was then fully concealed, bonded with saran wrap and trash bags and duct tape, and placed strategically in that mattress after the box spring had been pulled out. So, if it was lifted, it appeared that nothing was wrong. How calculating was that? Levy called Jimmy, and police believe Jimmy was a part of Mary's murder. When and how he fit in, I'm not certain, but he bragged about it. It was something that he was proud of, so proud he called America Deal 18, a girl who he had met on a dating app Tinder just days prior, to come and help clean up the murder scene, which she gladly went and did. She didn't even know Mary. She barely knew Jimmy. What kind of person is that? A family member of America's? They aren't shocked that she's even involved in a murder. Kelly and Levy were arrested on the same day Jimmy was arrested, and America was arrested on June 2nd, 2020. She had fled to Colorado and was extradited back to Charlotte. Supposedly, she turned herself in and was later bonded out on a $100,000 bail. Mary's grandmother spoke in court. She believes that Mary didn't know what was happening, that she thought that these were her friends. She believes that Mary tried to scream, but she can't. She tried to yell, but she can't. She knows that her granddaughter probably was calling out for her. Why were they doing this? Why were they turning her? These were her friends.
I miss you. I think I still believe I might find you, somewhere hidden, somewhere perhaps forbidden, yet your soul is tied to mine. So there isn't any place I'm too scared to try. Baby sister of mine, it wasn't your time. How dare God decide to take you somewhere I can't find? I want to scream. It's the only release from these demon thoughts that won't let me sleep. Your face constantly in my dreams, running after you like please don't leave. Your name constantly on repeat. Cycled in are the faces that took you from me, and all the things I want to do to avenge you. Revenge seems like the only thing to do. Hurt them the way they took away every future second I had with you. So many things we had planned, now all misconstrued. When they told me, my brain wouldn't let me believe it was true. Who could hurt someone as beautiful as you? Why does God take the most vulnerable ones? How could he dim the light of someone so young? Someone so good? And never the ones it sometimes feels like he should? Trying to keep my thoughts light, despite darkness calling to me, because in my sister I still believe, holding on to my faith like a lifeboat, pain bubbling up, trying not to choke. I love you, Mary. I just have to let you know. And when my time comes, into eternity we'll go, sister, sister, forever.
Her oldest sister, Riley, says, quote, "This girl was so jealous because her soul is so dark that she saw a light in my sister. And she wanted to put it out because you don't know what light is," end quote. Since the pandemic, a lot of court cases have been postponed. The pain, suffering, and justice has also been postponed for a lot of families. Plea deals have been offered. One was offered to Kelly, the ringleader, the one who determined what people would do to others during this heinous act. She was charged with second-degree murder. She told the courts she was sorry the family was hurting, and that Mary's spirit lived on. They were not interested in what Kelly had to say. They felt it was rehearsed and she wasn't sorry. She was just caught. Kelly Lavery took that plea deal, 25 to 32 years in prison. Casey isn't happy about that. She hoped for life. Quote, "As a mother, it feels like nothing is going to satisfy me, but I want something to be done," End quote. They took a life. They took a life. Kelly Lavery needs to die in there. Levi Pham, as of this video, pled not guilty to murder and kidnapping, and he's going to trial. James Salerno pled not guilty to murder and kidnapping. America Deal, she was charged with accessory after the fact, and to my knowledge is still out on bond. Kelly's insecurities, her hate, obsessive behavior. She was able to lure Mary to her home and have 3 individuals with no brain and no heart help commit a murder and conceal a murder. I will follow Mary's case. I will hope that everyone involved in her death is punished to the full extent of the law. I will look for updates on a Facebook page called Mary's Voice, who can tell the story far more better than me. It's her family. Mia says she had to give Mary a little growing up room. She says Mary was using the GPS on her phone to be able to walk through the neighborhood as she was teaching her how to count and budget money in her bank account. They joked when Mary was tongue-tied and said things backwards. Mary always knew what her granddaughter was talking about, even though others couldn't. They had a special kind of bond. Part of Mary growing up and getting older was letting her ride Ubers to friends' houses. But she never thought anything like this would have happened to Mary.
What I really want to do is bring you into my world today. I am at Mary's grave. The beginning of each month, I change her flowers and her decorations. So I just went to Walmart, and in the Christmas section, while people are shopping for their decorations and their gifts and things, I am looking to see what I want to decorate my daughter's grave with. So I'm here now, and I decided to add some sparkly snow-looking tinsel this year. And because I'm on a budget, I've been saving the decorations as long as they don't fade. So I went to my storage where I have a bin of decorations for each month, and I have added some flowers. And there's a little Mary on here. I think Christmas and Easter and these things are extra hard for me because I named Mary after my great-grandmother. Santina's mother was Mary, and Santina was my grandmother, which means little saint in Italian. And so I named her for the family name, and also after Jesus' mother, Mary. And ironically, I've never felt more connected to her than ever now. Because what is this whole story about? Like, a mother who watched her innocent son get crucified for our sins. I don't know, that's just where I am with it. I have some other decorations that I'm going to put out. I have, maybe I should have got more prepared before I started this. I have more angels and Christmas, a stocking. I got this because of baking cookies with Mary and my kids on Christmas, and this because she wasn't a morning person, so I thought she would think this is funny. And a tradition that I do with my kids is I call it Christmas hot chocolate, which they think is hilarious. It's just hot chocolate with candy cane and marshmallows and festive things in it. I don't know. I don't. I guess there's so many different emotions and feelings going on right now, and I don't know if it even is coming out right, or if that matters even. Like, I'm sitting here decorating my daughter's grave for Christmas, and next week I've got to sit in another bond hearing and hear about, how one of the people involved in her murder, just because there's no evidence tying her to the actual murder, she's not charged with murder, and she's out walking around and living her life. And it's not that I have hate for her and I want vengeance. It's just not fair. It's not fair that I'm sitting here decorating her grave and there's still been no justice, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to even, it hasn't even started. I just keep having to go to court and listen to, details of what they think happened to my daughter based on the evidence, and wait to find out, like, okay, what's going to happen to these people, with like a deep fear, because as I am connecting with other women who have lost their children and I'm watching what's happening in the justice system, I'm terrified. I keep preparing myself to, like, focus on the afterlife and how there's going to be justice with God that can't be, it's not earthly justice. And, like, that's really what I have all my hope in, because I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for how this is going to go. And then, like, what is the message to the younger generation? So that is, this latest homicide is the 90th homicide that they've discovered in Charlotte for the year. So what is the message for the young people? You can murder somebody and get right back out. You can make bond, get out, not even have an ankle monitor, and you can just murder somebody. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, we're desensitized as a society already, and then there's so much going on. Every single human on this planet right now is suffering on some level because of the things that are going on in the world. It's like, I alone don't have enough capacity to, like, care for my own grief and show up for everybody around me who's grieving, and it's overwhelming. So with all of this going on, like, what is the answer? What can we do to pull together and make changes to where this doesn't, is this the direction things are going in? When I sat down and saw that news story, I closed my computer and thought to myself, I am selfish and wrong for looking forward to having grandkids when the time is right, because this is not a safe place. This is not a safe place. And, like, how horrible is that I'm kind of hoping that maybe when it's the only thing I've looked forward to, not like I've the only hope that I have at this point is being able to be a magical grandmother to my grandkids, and that very thought is followed with, I don't want my kids to have kids because the direction things are going in. I don't want any more of my immediate, my children's children to suffer in this world. Like, how horrible is that? Like, I'd rather my family line just stop so that there's no more pain and we could just hang out in heaven and, like, not have to go through this, because I feel at this moment going through this more helpless and powerless than I ever have, and angry. It's hard not to get angry. Like, I'm sitting back waiting for a broken justice system to decide the fate of the people who brutally murdered my daughter.